Now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? Race is not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
And now you have to ask yourself, how did 50 come into the possession of Diddy's footage for Diddy's documentary about Diddy?
A lot of insight. And, this documentary is about people being able to tell their truth or tell their version.
For years, Katt Williams was treated as the outspoken comic who said too much. His remarks were laughed off, labeled exaggerated, and quickly forgotten. That perception shifted in January 2024 when he appeared on Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharpe. The mood online changed almost immediately. The laughter faded and attention sharpened. What stood out was not the humor but the timing. Several of his claims began lining up with events unfolding in real time. He was not focused on stand-up or comedy rivalries. Matters hidden. He also suggested that if serious revelations about Sean Diddy Combs ever surfaced, they would extend beyond a single individual. Months later, 50 Cent released a documentary titled Sean Combs: The Reckoning. The project drew major attention, presenting archived clips, timelines, and patterns that had circulated quietly for years. Yet viewers noticed something unusual. A number of prominent figures were missing from the storyline, left unnamed and largely unexplored. That absence reignited discussion around Katt Williams. Online commentators suggested he had anticipated this outcome. Through earlier interviews and subtle remarks, he appeared to hint that certain powerful names would never be directly confronted, not because of missing evidence, but because of the influence they carry. One statement he made in early 2020 resurfaced. Repeatedly, he claimed there were individuals in the industry who could not be challenged and referenced the number 7. At the time, the comment seemed cryptic. But as Diddy's legal troubles intensified and the documentary aired, audiences revisited his words and began forming broader theories.
Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show?
The central idea was simple. According to that theory, Diddy was not operating alone, but within layers of protection, some allegedly connected to well-known figures whose reputations made them difficult to question. Katt never released a detailed list and did not clearly identify all 7 names. Still, speculation moved quickly. Online forums and social platforms filled the gaps. Conversations expanded and interpretations multiplied. One name that frequently appeared in those discussions was Snoop Dogg.
Audio from Suge Knight. It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, Tupac and Snoop being cool and how, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, he also speaks on how, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. It's downloading right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs with Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs with Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, old bitch ass, this motherfucker telling, well, Pac, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these are dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, huh? Hey, whoa. Wait a minute, fellas here. Hold up. I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my peoples.
For real, that's what we came in for. We came in and light it up and ride it up. We make music.
Now, Pac If you love Pac so much, how you with the motherfuckers they got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that, like now, okay, you know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion like, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. You know, we're grown now. If he want to be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this.
Observers pointed out that Snoop had openly discussed attending Diddy's gatherings over the years, mentioning them in interviews and public conversations. Old clips resurfaced, highlighting how closely their circles once overlapped. As debates intensified, additional rumors surfaced online, including revived claims connected to Aaron Carter and other past controversies. None of these claims were officially confirmed, yet the volume of discussion led some to question why Snoop was absent from the documentary. Narrative. Speculation suggested that mentioning him could have triggered significant backlash, not only from fans but from influential business partners. Snoop represents more than music. He has built a wide-reaching brand and cultural presence supported across multiple industries. To some commentators, that stature makes scrutiny complicated. Around the same time, Kevin Hart also became part of online theories. Commenters revisited his early career connections and referenced gatherings, sometimes described as gateways for emerging talent seeking entry into elite entertainment circles. While no official findings tied him to wrongdoing, the renewed attention demonstrated how quickly public curiosity can expand once broader questions begin circulating.
He's lying! He's lying! He didn't even buy it yet! He's lying!
As online debate intensified, some fans revisited early stand-up clips from Kevin Hart. Certain jokes were re-examined, not as proof of wrongdoing, but as moments that sparked fresh curiosity about what he may have seen during his rise in the industry. Commentators suggested that directly involving Kevin Hart in a high-profile documentary could have created complex legal challenges. His career is tied to major studios, long-term contracts, and large-scale productions. Nothing concrete was confirmed. Instead, the lack of direct answers allowed speculation to fill the space where clarity never fully emerged.
The awards went off without a hitch last night. A sense of that there. No, inside everything was fine. Outside everything was fine. And Kevin Hart decided that he was going to make jokes about, well, I mean, he's the host, right? So you have to sort of roast a little bit about someone who's in the audience because, well, this person is in a prison, actually right now sitting in a courtroom, and that's Diddy. Yes, he didn't say his name, but it was very clear to everyone who he was talking about here. Watch the reactions in the
Diddy was a big part of this culture. You know, right. His after parties, you know, were a part of the BET experience. So, you know, life comes at you fast, but, you know, Kevin had to address the elephant in the room.
By the way, we should say the Diddy after parties that happen after award shows, that's not what the trial is about. Those weren't freak-offs. The trial is something separate, but still, nobody wanted to be seen as laughing at him.
And eventually a clear separation. He did not. That silence became its own topic of discussion. Some fans believe he may know more than he has shared publicly, and reintroducing his story would have meant reopening issues that might not be easily resolved.
Kevin Hart.
I don't know, man. You know, the internet is going wild on him, saying that he was a curator and a narrator of one of the Diddy parties and got caught on tape. You hear that?
Wow. I didn't hear that one.
That must be one of your favorite. That must be one of your favorite comedians then. Cause you didn't hear that?
That was cool.
Huh?
I didn't hear it.
Get out of here.
It was cool, but I didn't hear that one. Must have missed it, man. I think I caught most of them.
I think he almost fell in the tub with one of the girls. Diddy had some girls in the tub, a tub of baby oil or something like that, and he almost fell in the tub. It was crazy.
You know, he would be one of the celebrities that I definitely wouldn't think would be involved in anything illegal, for sure.
But you gotta realize this, man. people who get caught up in certain those things like that, those parties and things like that, is that they don't go there looking for that stuff. You gotta understand, they get caught up in the moment with the alcohol, the drugs, and then certain bottles that are laced with certain things that take you away from your normal self. And you end up probably doing something that you probably never do again in your life. You never get caught up in those things ever before. There are a lot of celebrities that go to these parties like this. And they not only Diddy parties. I went to a party before and You Can't Handle the Truth and King Kong Ain't Got Nothing on Me was at one of those parties. I was bodyguarding one of the girls. So what I'm saying is that it's rampant, and this was years ago. This was over 20 years ago. It's rampant in the music industry. It's rampant in Hollywood, film, pictures, and anything.
Can I tell you a story, Killer? I don't think I ever told you this story. This is what Puff taught me. One time I walked in when I was fresh off the streets. I got signed to Bad Boy. I had these fresh Air Nikes on, and then had on Air Nikes too, brand new. I made a mistake and stepped on his sneaker, and the dirt was on his laces, on his white Airs. I said, man, my bad, because I had stepped in some dirt. You know, the nigga came back, put his feet in the dirt, and stepped all over my sneakers. I said, yo, what are you doing? He said, my bad. I said, yo. The moral of the story is, nobody just want to hear you say, yo.
Meek Mill entered the conversation after an audio clip circulated widely online. The recording spread quickly and fueled intense debate. Some dismissed it immediately, while others treated it as significant. Meek Mill denied any wrongdoing, but by that point, the online discussion had already grown beyond a single response. Commentators argued that including him directly in a documentary could have created serious legal risks, from potential defamation disputes to broader media backlash. For a platform like Netflix, such risks may have outweighed the potential value of inclusion. Within rumor circles, this became another example cited as material possibly left out not due to irrelevance, but because of the complications it might create.
The day before the incident at the celebrity basketball game, that someone was coming for Puffy and Biggie. And another line that May said that caught my attention, man, was him saying that never fought the killer. Why is there? How do you feel about him saying that? Because it sounds like he's referring to Biggie getting killed in LA, and Puffy, he's currently living in LA right now. And why does he feel so comfortable living somewhere that Biggie got killed at, knowing that they never fought the killer and the murder is still unsolved?
Well, on all honestly, brother, you would have to ask him that. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at it like that, then I know, you know, those mansions are heavily guarded, one. Two, he wasn't getting the love that he would get. I don't think he getting love in LA. I don't know. He said he owns LA, he runs LA, he runs Miami, and he runs New York. So by him running LA, as he say he does, I would feel comfortable too. You know what I'm saying? If I knew for a fact that the person they got, and that was enough to call back all of everything, I would feel that comfortable too. But I wouldn't live there. I wouldn't go there. I'd do business and get on out of there. If I was still afraid, I don't think he may have not ever been afraid. You understand? Because he never acted like he was afraid for whatever reason it was.
Perhaps the most sensitive names raised were Justin Bieber and Usher. Both had professional connections to Diddy early in their careers. Years later, emotional exchanges involving Bieber and photographers added fuel to online speculation, not because the subject lacked relevance, but because it involved individuals who could be seen as vulnerable. Highlighting those details publicly might have risked harm rather than clarity, intentionally included in what was carefully left unsaid.
That Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood, whereas that he's dressing like Diddy, hugged up with Diddy. I think that Lil Rod know a lot of, but I know this. Two men dress alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mills up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all that, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all of that.
Oh, wow.
Crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy. But he put himself in that position.
Like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So.
Then there is Clive Davis. If Diddy was viewed as a central figure, Clive was often seen as the architect behind the scenes, the gatekeeper operating at an even higher level. Many fans believe his absence from the documentary speaks volumes, not because he needed protection, but because he represents the structure itself. Including Clive Davis would not have kept the focus on one individual. It would have pulled back the curtain on how the entire industry operates, and that level of exposure rarely moves forward without resistance. Some believe this was the real line that could not be crossed, the moment the story risked shifting from a person to the system as a whole.
Bootleg, yo, they don't even bootleg no more, man. So it's gonna be hard to figure it out if it does exist.
Do you believe the guy in the tape is white?
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. and somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, and he was an A-lister, he was younger, you know what I'm saying? And if he's not black, it would have to be the Bieber. That's his name, Bieber? They said I got that wrong too. Justin Bieber, allegedly. I don't know, bro.
Right. But when you heard the news that Diddy, he had a tape with another man, did that catch you by surprise or no?
Well, all this is by surprise to me. A lot of this is by surprise to me, to be totally honest, man. Because I knew Puff, I knew Puff Daddy, I knew Diddy before he was Love and Brother Love and back to Diddy. So, no, but the diddler, he's the diddler now. A lot of it's surprising, but it's not unheard of. Because you hear of all kinds of shit, and whether it registered with you or you internalize it or something like that, that's a whole nother story. But a lot of this stuff is crazy. But this is the world that we live in now.
50 Cent addressed the rumors in his own way, pointing out that documentaries have limits. Episode limits, legal limits. But Katt Williams, through humor and subtle remarks, seemed to suggest something deeper. According to him, the omissions were not simply creative choices. They were shaped by strategic pressure, legal threats, distribution concerns, the protection of powerful figures, or even the safeguarding of those affected. Nothing was confirmed. Everything was debated. Yet the missing names remained missing. What convinced many viewers that certain names were deliberately excluded was not just who was absent, but how familiar the pattern felt. Longtime observers of the entertainment industry have seen it before. A scandal breaks. One person becomes the focus, and the broader system quietly fades into the background.
I've been talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, you know, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or this series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, you know, to the table, and you know, this is a series that spans over 30 years, so just by covering that much time, it took a lot of time for us to dig in and to kind of make sense of this story and to put this timeline together.
Yeah, and there's like some never before seen footage that I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment. But Curtis, people know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well, you know, I just want to make really hit television. I like the idea of it being exciting, and I picked this project and started working on it about 5 months before I found Alex. And I know that she has the artistic integrity that it would take to make it a great project, you know. And there's the Quincy Jones era of production is find me that bass player because he's the baddest man out there in Chicago, and find me that keyboardist and fly them in from Miami, and we put them in and had the greatest jam session they ever heard, and it just always resulted in great hit music. And I take that concept into television production.
You take that into everything you do, sir.
That's right.
You really do. It really comes through, and appreciate that about you. As I said, never before seen footage of the days leading up to his arrest. Can you just talk a little bit about, was there anything that surprised you from that footage?
The footage, well, I mean, I think it's rare to find someone who's being, you know, talked about all over the country. You know, all eyes were on him, you know, so to speak. And it was really interesting to see his last days of freedom, you know, and what was sort of important to him. Obviously, you know, there's phone calls with his attorneys, you know, with his team. It was very interesting to watch a man who's known for his brand presence. You know, he has a really amazing knack for marketing and all of that, and how he was sort of taking that into account in how he was coming off to the public, you know, in the days leading up to his arrest and indictment. So that was interesting. It was also just interesting to see how laid back he was at times, but you know, the footage also, in the footage we also see how he's getting incoming, you know, lawsuits are dropping, and to get his real-time perspective on that was sort of jaw-dropping when we first got our eyes on the footage.
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the footage?
No, that didn't surprise me at all.
Because you've known him?
Yes, those behaviors, and I think it was surprising that he actually filmed it.
Yeah, and I want to ask about that, because how did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer, why he or this person took the footage?
She's a journalist, right?
Yeah.
So she's not going to reveal her sources, so you don't have to reveal that.
Not gonna reveal.
And Katt Williams' words began to feel less like comedy and more like a warning. He never claimed the truth would be denied. He suggested it would be controlled, with certain narratives carefully trimmed to protect the bigger picture. Viewers noticed how some celebrities suddenly went quiet. It did not feel like panic. It felt calculated, the kind of strategy that comes from understanding the unspoken rules of survival in the industry. Whether 7 names were actually removed or not, people were not defending Diddy, they were defending. Distance. When silence spreads faster than facts. He described himself as someone who tells uncomfortable truths. One thing stands out. Diddy's downfall did not unfold in isolation. It opened a door. And behind that door is an industry that still seems reluctant to fully examine itself. The question is no longer who was removed. It is who may never be named.
Telling me on his way here, I didn't see this, but apparently there's another 100 hours of Diddy footage on the cutting room floor?
So Diddy is still doing press. I mean, Diddy. 50.
Diddy is not doing press.
No, he's
doing press on the yard.
He's doing press, like he's doing push-ups. No, 50 is still doing press, and you know, obviously, with the success of the Reckoning documentary, you know, he's talking about there's more footage. There's 140 hours that he has, and each episode was only maybe an hour, I think. There was 4 episodes, so there's at least 130 something more hours that he hasn't edited or, you know, produced. And he's saying that he may put it out on YouTube, just to put it out there,
like on his 50 Cent Devo page.
I don't know if it'll be on his page, but he just said, you know, he doesn't know if he's going to release it with Netflix or through Netflix. He might just, you know, put it out on YouTube or wherever, some other platform. But the one thing that he said that was interesting is he said, you know, because you see people out here trying to, you know, say, oh, the documentary can paint a narrative, this and the third. And his words were, you know, if you see the rest of this footage, there will be no more, you know, kind of like, oh, you know, you can paint this narrative. It's pretty clear cut, you know, the things that are being said in the documentary, the things that he still can't believe Puff, because he says that a lot, like he can't believe Puff actually recorded all of it.
Yeah. But I mean, so why does 50 not put that, if it's that damning and that crazy, why not put it in the doc?
I don't know why. I don't know why he didn't put it in the doc. Maybe, you know, the stories, maybe he had more people that he would need to interview and have sit down for the documentary to kind of go through those stories that are in there. It could be a number of reasons, but the fact that he has over 100 hours of footage of, you know, personal footage and things like that leading up to the case, because the story is Puff felt like he was going to win the case.
Yeah.
And that this was going to be footage for his documentary that he would have released.
The Redemption.
After the trial was done and things like that. So, you know, the amount of things that he probably was recording, you know, just going off of the fact that he felt like they were going to win the case.
Yeah. And this is my footage and these guys aren't going to put it out.
Yeah.
Like all the crazy we're going to take out.
Right.
But I mean, even I did see who I think was the director of what Diddy was trying to do had mentioned that he was on vacation or was out of town and had someone fill in for him. And that's the only footage that made it to the doc because that guy sold it. So maybe that director didn't pay the person to fill in, so he owned the footage and was able to give it away. But maybe all this other footage, 50 doesn't have permission to put out. Like,
okay,
he could have it, but the director's like, no, this is my footage. Like, you got the other. Because I had my man's fill in for me for 3 days, and he has that footage now.
Right.
So maybe that could be it. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like 50 is so petty that if it was that crazy, he would have just put in the doc. But who knows? I don't even want to speculate what is on the 100 hours.
Yeah.
After Lil Rod telling me what was going on, I don't know if I want to see it visually.
I mean, you know, and for 50 to say the footage that's on there is it leaves no more room for, you know, people to kind of say, oh, you know, the narratives are being created, it's false. For 50 to say that, I mean, you know, we can only imagine